Welcome to Love, Life and Energy. I'm Michelle Chung, and this podcast is your go-to sanctuary for personal growth, designed for busy, career-driven women who are ready to embrace their highest potential and not settle for an average, ordinary life. Let's grow and manifest your dream life together.
Hello and welcome. So I'm very excited to have my very first guest of this season and year, Michelle Chung, who a love strategist for high-achieving women entrepreneurs and professionals, the podcast host of Love, Life, and Energy, best-selling author of How to Stop Dating and Be in a Committed, Effortless Relationship. He is a entrepreneur, property investor, and has hacked the process to finding the right man and relationship that supports your vision, career, and lifestyle without dating or using online apps. Wow. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. So excited.
I am so excited to have you. When I read your bio and I connected with you online, I really love your energy and how you show up, and you're always showing up, and your commitment to help people to rediscover themselves. And I was listening to a few of your videos. I'm like, ooh, so I really like your process.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Very excited.
Thank you. I have a question that I wanted you to start with your love story, because I am a metaphysical minister, so I officiate weddings, and those are one of the things I love to do, is hear love stories. So the first question I have for you is, I love to hear the story of how you manifested your partner, Raf, using the very tools that you teach. What shifted for you?
Thank you for the question. Definitely, I guess it has to start with my own divorce. I got divorced in my early 30s. It was just a relationship that wasn't aligned with me anymore as I grew and changed in my own spiritual path and my life path. And then I was just wandering around. I traveled the world. I was hoping to meet my soulmate. And then an opportunity came to move to Spain in Barcelona. So I listened to my intuition, and I thought, intuition said, do it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to do that. I didn't speak Spanish. I didn't know anyone. I didn't have any connections. And I'd never lived abroad by myself before. And so I just went.
Oh
Guess
my
it's quite
God.
brave. Thank you. Thank you. And I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing there, but intuition said to go. So I went, and I ended up there in 2019, a year before COVID, and who knew what was going to happen. And I decided to start exploring different avenues for my life. Did I want to be an artist? Did I want to change my career? I'd been a designer for 18 years before that. And then I was dating a Spanish guy, and it was really lovely. And what we both recognized, that he said that I needed somebody more ambitious. So he was a lovely guy who's also an artist, a personal trainer, and he saw in me that I had this entrepreneur spark, and I really wanted to change the world and make an impact. And his values weren't the same. So we kind of parted ways, and I'd hired a life coach, and I listened to a lot of business podcasts, and I was really trying to grow and learn. And because I knew that just going on dating apps and just trying to date and meet men, it wasn't working. I'd been doing that for years already and still wasn't meeting anyone. And I was like, what's happening? I keep doing this and nothing's happening. So I decided to take a break from that and go towards more the feminine and the inward journey, to be a little bit more right, and focus on myself and what I wanted. And that's how I help women now to meet their partners, is to focus on aligning their feminine frequency.
I love that. You talked about following your intuition, and I have a lot of listeners who are all about the intuition. And can you give any tips for people on how do they know it's their intuition and not just their ego? What would you give as a way for people to use as a tool to trust themselves?
That is a great question. A lot of the time we try to think our way and make it logical and strategic and try to figure it out, right? And that's the brain. That's the left side of the brain. If you're someone who's ambitious and high achieving and you have big goals in life, you'll often fall back on that because that's normally what works. And in terms of love, if you've been trying that and it hasn't worked, then what we can do is look at the opposite of that. That's the very yang and masculine approach. And we can move towards the other polar opposite, which is the feminine and the yin approach. And that is to look for your intuition. And to strengthen that is to firstly notice that if you have any self-talk in your head, that negative self-talk especially, conversations in your head that are like, oh, I should have done that, or why didn't I date that guy when I had the chance, or lamenting about the past. And those conversations, we all know what that head trash is, right?
I always tell my clients, you can't move forward looking backwards. Like sometimes people are just stuck in the past and they're stuck in their own limiting beliefs. So I love what you do. So you help them to rewire their subconscious and their energy to get back into the feminine, which is a magnetism. So do you believe everyone has one soulmate, two soulmates? What is your perspective about soulmates?
That's a great question. I believe that before we came to Earth, before we were born, we had a spiritual contract with ourselves and perhaps a soulmate or two, something of karma, a pact that you made with other spiritual beings who became humans. And we have this, I guess, journey for ourselves. Of course, we always have choice. We always have free will. And we have this kind of promise that we made to ourselves and sometimes to another person that we will meet again in this lifetime. And I do believe we can have multiple soulmates. And I think that's why we sometimes get married to somebody and maybe we get divorced, or we're with somebody and then we break up. And I feel like each relationship contributes to our personal growth and discovering who we are as spiritual beings. And I feel like when you're wanting to meet your soulmate, it's a very different relationship to somebody who you just want as a partner or as a boyfriend.
Yes. Oh, wow. So when people hire you and they're like, oh, I need to find a soulmate, are they really looking for that partner and boyfriend? Or are they like looking for something else to shift inside of them? Because I find that some people know their patterns. Hey, why am I attracting the same type of person, like a narcissist, over and over? So do you help people to break through any like patterns of attractions?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yes, it all starts with those self-beliefs, the subconscious programming that we did receive as a child. So I'd like to explain it, and this is a very popular psychology and therapy concept as well, that when you're a child, up to the age of 7, we receive and download all the programming, the beliefs, the traditions, the customs from our family and our environment, and we are absorbed those kind of beliefs and ways of behaving so that we don't question it, and we go through life as an adult with those same beliefs going, oh, my parents' relationship, fighting was normal, yelling and raising your voice is normal, getting upset and storming away is normal, or clinging to somebody and trying to make it up to them was normal. And so you have all these beliefs and ideas of behavior that there is no other way. And when that gets stuck into you, you get stuck. So what I help clients do is to actually understand what is that behavior pattern that becomes self-sabotaging, that stops them from being in that soulmate relationship or attracting that ideal partner that will actually make you happy and fulfilled.
I love that. So you are not just all fluff. You're using this astrology too. I love that. It's a breath of fresh air, okay? Because I meet so many people in the spiritual community, and sometimes they're just saying all the right things, but they're not really embodying it. So I love how you embody the truth. And that is so powerful because that's how they will be able to get out of their own way. And they have to be the ones who wanted to do the work. So what would be your favorite tool that you find that assists people? And of course, you can't give all the secrets away because they had to hire you. But for this tool, what do you feel it would be something that would help people to start unraveling their subconscious or even start doing some inner work? Some people say, oh yeah, therapy or this or that. What would you say was something that would be something you recommend to people who are like clueless of where do I start?
I guess it starts with identifying yourself and where your situation is right now. So, in a lot of my trainings and on my social media, I talk about three types of people who are looking for love. The first type is someone who I call an unconscious survivor. So, someone who is just going through life, wants to enjoy life as much as possible, almost just get through life. You have the job, you meet somebody, you have kids, and you settle down, you get your mortgage, the regular kind of life that society tells us is normal, right? And for these kind of people, they just want to have a partner to enjoy life with. It may look like a codependent relationship. It may look like this person is your other half. He completes you. And these are the kind of beliefs that we've had since childhood, that this is like what we should be wanting. And these kind of people want more like a companionship than a soulmateship. And this is someone to come home to, have some like weekend planning with. And these are all amazing. And that's normally what we want, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is not bad. It's just that I'm finding a lot of women that, especially that I work with, this is all well and good, but they probably had that and it's not as satisfying and fulfilling as they would want. So they're looking for that deeper connection and that guided, aligned pathway together. So this leads me to type 2 people. So type 2 people I call as the conscious curious. So someone who's starting to awaken to a more spiritual world, a world that is deeper than what you can just see. You recognize that the physical world is just an illusion. It's your senses are there to help you, but sometimes they're stopping you from seeing the real truth, which is that we are spiritual beings in a human body. And we want to have fulfillment and joy and all the beautiful things in life. We don't want to just settle for that companion relationship anymore. We're growing beyond that, starting to awaken and become more conscious. And I say conscious curious because that curiosity is bringing you to a stage of, I want to develop myself. I want to understand more about what is the spiritual world, what is energy, what is this stuff that's actually in the background that's making things work. But we were never taught in school, and I didn't know anything about it until maybe Instagram or like your podcast maybe shares, and we start to become curious and interested about this. Now, the thing is, a lot of women I see out there are probably in this stage, the conscious curious, yet, however, they're attracting men who are the unconscious survivor. So they see you as someone who is a shining light in their life and someone who's engaging and alluring, and you're attracting them because they want someone who is as shiny as you, but you probably don't want them. And they're probably the guys that you're seeing on all those dating apps and the guys that you're probably meeting out there in bars and restaurants and things like that. And they don't seem appealing to you anymore. They don't have that lifestyle or the mindset or the emotional capacity that you would want in a relationship. So that's the problem I'm seeing.
Yeah. That's survival. It's just so label of it is like they just want to latch on to you and see me like almost like an energy vampire, I think. It doesn't feel good when you say that. Oh, it is true. Those dating apps, when I ask all my couples about getting married and how they meet, and it is so true. And I love that they find happily ever after through apps because sometimes they're so busy to go out and connect. So it's almost like 7 out of 10 couples find each other on dating apps. And I wish I could say every single one of the weddings I've done was 100% successful. But when I touch base and I hear from the grapevine, like, oh, this person got divorced after 3 years. And then when I really do exploring, because I love just thinking the best for every couple. Oh, yeah, whoever I officiate, they're going to be married forever. But when I hear the statistics, then I hear sometimes, oh, they got married for the wrong reason. What you were saying sounds transactional. This looks like
transactional.
family likes each other, but they actually are not being honest, but they grew out of love before. And sometimes it's just life happens. When people work with you, I want to hear a success story because I know we were sharing it before we started recording, but you have a really good success story. So not my couples, but the people who are listening, who are looking to find their soulmate can have some inspiration to see, like, you don't just have to find someone through an app. There's so many other ways. So can you share
Yes.
your success story?
Yeah, definitely. This is, before I share the success story, and this is the process of how I help women from your type 2 conscious curious. How I help you find your relationship is to help you become the authentic, aligned woman. Now, that is the woman who manifests everything easily and quickly. She's aligned to her soul path and what she's supposed to be doing in her life. She's attracting not just men, but women, people, opportunities to her because she's on her aligned path. So that's how I coach women to become that authentic aligned. And that's actually how you attract your partner. So I have a saying that dating is obsolete, that we need to chase our vision, purpose, and values rather than chasing men in relationships, and to build a life that he can't resist. So I'm helping women build that irresistible life, not for him or not for everyone else, but for you to follow your path. So a really great success story. One woman, she's from Europe, from the UK actually, and she came to me one of my workshops, and we did the work, and I didn't hear from her. And then all of a sudden, after a couple of months, I saw on her social media that she'd found a new partner. She was taking lots of selfies with him. And I said, we have to get on a call. Tell me what happened. And she said that since the program, she decided to move abroad from, I think she was in Europe at the time. And then she moved to Mexico, where she'd always wanted to be. Her intuition told her to go there. And then within a couple of weeks, she met her soulmate.
Oh my goodness.
Firstly, she'd met one guy, and he's pretty close, but he's not the one. And then she said that to me, and she said, after doing your workshop, I really got aligned with my values and, who I wanted to be with. And she knew that the first guy she met was close, but not the one. I was like, wow, that's a great distinction, because she could have just been in that relationship with him. Potentially, we don't know what could have happened. But then she met the one a few weeks after that, and now they're married. She invited me to a wedding, but I couldn't make it. But now she's like thriving in her life. She's now into music production, and she's still got her job that she's working for, but her partner's also into music. They're hosting festivals, and I'm like, I can't even imagine the big things that she's doing right now because of that alignment with her own feminine frequency, with her path in life.
That is such a beautiful story, because if she didn't listen to her intuition, like you, when you had to, like, you listened and you went to Spain. So she listened and she went to Mexico, but she didn't settle. So that means that she knew her worth. She knew, hey,
Yeah.
one. So how long does it take for someone to see breakthroughs when they work with you? Do you have 6-month containers, 9-month containers, 3 months? What would you say is that, of course, everyone is different, and sometimes, but how would it be for you? Do you have like different kinds of like tiers?
Yeah. I have different ways of working with me. Some of them, if you want to do your own self-automated program, I have an online program. I used to run workshops live in person when I was in Europe. I also do group coaching and just small groups. And I also do my one-on-ones. And obviously you get the most out of the one-on-ones. And sometimes it doesn't take a long time, is what I want to say. You don't have to be in programs forever and therapy for years. When you hit upon the right tools that are potentially things that are blocking you, things that you haven't seen before, that you need some kind of framework or process that already works. And if you implement that in your life, you can see results in your life as well. Like, a lot of women have met their partners just a couple of months later.
Wow. Okay, I love that, because yeah, they have to be authentic and real and do the work for themselves, because I know that the women you attract are already conscious women who already know, hey, there's some shadows here that I need to let go of, because they wouldn't be attracted to the work that you do. When I saw everything you're posting and showing up as, I'm like, oh my God, I just love your energy and your pink. I thought you're like so far away and we could do this now, because you live in Australia, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we relocated back to Sydney, but we'll probably be in Europe a couple of months of the year of the summer.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah,
I love the fact that you can provide space for women in this way. I love what you said that it's like women to attract anyone. It doesn't mean men. They could be non-binary. They could be like woman to woman. It's not about the sex. It's about them finding themselves and then being magnetic to find the person who is their soulmate. So I love that you
exactly.
said it like that because it is so true. Love comes in all shapes and sizes and all different ways. So if you can leave a wonderful takeaway for my followers, what would you say? And also, I want you to share how they can find you because I am going to drop this, but I want you to tell us how can like people work with you because you're not local to Niagara, so they need to do the online way unless they travel.
Yes. Definitely. I guess the last words of wisdom would be to understand if you feel like you're doing everything that you can, you're trying the apps, you're getting out there, you're doing a lot of personal work and things aren't still happening for you, there's probably some level of resistance in the way. So this is one of the emotional blocks and mental blocks that I work through in my program that helps you see something that you can't see for yourself. So understand that there's probably something that's blocking you. And you probably already know this for yourself, but you just can't see it and you just don't know. So that's one of the biggest ways you can open that up for yourself. And that's when you're able to focus on aligning with your feminine frequency. It's simply just to focus on your own soul path, because that's where your soulmate is going to be on that path for yourself. So you can find me on Instagram at Michelle Chung Coach. I also have a free training that you can register for. It's called 3 Steps to Meet Your Ideal Partner Without Dating. And you can go ahead and register for that. It's only half an hour, so it's not long. So if you're busy, but you can go ahead and watch that. And you can also book a call to work with me.
I love that you even have something for free for them so they can have a taste of your medicine. And I love that it's 30 minutes. So did you hear that, everyone? So they can find the free offering on your website?
Yeah.
What's your website?
Um, yes, michellechungcoach.com. And I'll send you the links that you can go to register for that free masterclass.
Okay, I am so excited for this because I want to share it on my social media because a lot of people, when they see that I do weddings and stuff, they're like, but how do I do that? So now I'm going to just send them your link because what you're saying makes so much sense. They have to really become the feminine frequency to attract and to also release all those limiting beliefs and all those shadows. So I'm so happy that we had the opportunity to do this, Michelle. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I just love your energy and you really inspired me to do the guests because if I'm honest, like a part of me was like thinking, oh, doing interviews for other people is a little bit too much. But in reality, I had to go through my shadows and I had to, oh my gosh, it was my limited belief. My limited belief was like, oh, that means I had to be more organized and more responsible. But guess what? If you need to build a legacy, you need to up level, you have to have those frequencies. You have to be responsible and organized. So when we connected, it was almost like the universe was saying, hey, you're praying for this certain level of legacy and abundance and all this. But when opportunities presenting to collaborate, you're saying no. So like you were an answered prayer. So that's how I have to look at things. Is that we're praying for abundance or praying for love or praying for insight, then any inspiration is almost like the universe saying, hey, go here. So whoever's listening to this and they really resonate with Michelle, and they're like, oh my God, I've been really thinking I need to do some inner work and I really want to manifest my soulmate. This is your answered prayer. So check her out, check her free link because you're not losing that. If it's free, you're going to receive. And then that way, if you need more information, you know how to find her. I'm going to share the links. So thank you so much, Michelle, for taking the time to be here today.
Thank you. I really enjoyed being with you. I love your energy as well. And what you're doing for people, it's incredible. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you so much, Michelle Chung, for being here. It was such a pleasure to interview you. And for more information, check out my website, natalialoveangelou.com. It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you so much for your follow. Please share, subscribe, and if there's a topic of interest, send me a DM and I'll be sure to cover it if it aligns. Have a wonderful day. May you receive all the love that you put out there tenfold. Until we meet again. Bye for now.